Good morning. My name is Debbie Varney, Fitness and Wellness Coordinator for Memorial Health System. This is our MOVE series, and today what I'm bringing you is back strengthening exercises that are easy to do, not like going into a weight room and doing, we all know exercises if you go to a gym that we can do to strengthen our back muscles, but these are designed to help people that have back issues. It's something doable that they can do in their home. And then I'm going to follow that up with some exercises that you can do that get circulation flowing through the back while you're still in bed. So you do them as you go to bed at night and you do them before you get up in the morning. It's going to help your back to move more freely. Your range of motion is going to increase and probably is going to take away some of the pain that you suffer with. So we're going to start with exercises. As you can see, I'm sitting in a chair. So if you have a kitchen chair, that's what I would be using. You don't want anything on wheels. You don't want to be on the edge of a couch or a rocking chair. We need to be safe. I do have my shoes off. I think it's easier to do this movement, especially when you're in bed. You're not going to have your shoes on. Some of the things that have caused back problems or issues for people, even flare-ups, are muscle strain, an injury that you've had somewhere along life's journey, poor posture. That's one of the main ones that I realize causes a lot of issues that start in the back but then flow into the hips or the knees because of poor posture. Also, lack of staying fit and flexible through the years. Most people stop stretching once we're out of high school or college. That's a little gift that we get for life to continue to do if we want quality of life. Now remember, what works for one person doesn't always work for everybody. You have to do what you can do with these exercises and stretches. You might not be able to do them all, but as I always say in these videos, you do you, baby. Modify when needed. I'll show you some modifications, or if you just want to skip certain ones, that's fine. Any of these, I feel that you're going to see improvement. Remember to always listen to what your doctor has told you to do or not to do. Like I said, these are not rigorous exercises. They're not the things that we would see done in a gym. There's something that you can do at home. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to use this foam roller. It is 36 inches in length. So if you have a broom handle, a stick, anything available to you, grab that. Like I said, this is 36 inches. So if you have a broom handle, of course it's longer. Put your hands out about 36 inches. You don't even have to have one of these. I just find that using this prop is a little more efficient for my workout. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sit, not using the seat back, but forward in our chair. My knees are straight out from my hips, my ankles straight down from my knees, and my toes are forward. I'm going to put my hands underneath this foam roller, about shoulder width, and I'm going to hinge forward with a straight back, lowering whatever it is you're holding, but lengthening the spine here, lengthening my neck, and as I pull back in, I bring this to my thighs, but I'm rounding my back. I am tipping that pelvis, pulling the chest in. And now I come up nice and tall, lifting through the rib cage, pulling the shoulders down, lengthening the neck, and going forward, keeping that long spine, long neck, and then slowly coming back, rounding that spine, pulling whatever it is you're holding into the tops of the thighs, chin to the chest. Now we go forward again, inhaling, little pause out there, holding that back in place. Now coming in, rounding the spine by tipping the pelvis, pulling the chin in, elbows go right alongside my rib cage, and back out again. I'm keeping the feet rooted and grounded. That means every toe is reaching for that floor. I'm lengthening the spine, chin is up, and now I pull back by tipping that pelvis, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, keeping the shoulders away from the ears, And now lifting through the rib cage as I go forward again, lengthening that spine. This is increasing our range of motion. It's getting circulation flowing. Anytime we have lack of movement in a certain part of the body, circulation is not flowing there to the extent it needs to be. Therefore, doing exercises like this gets that spine more mobile. It gets energy to it. In Tai Chi, we call it Qi. It's getting energy, blood flow, life force to the spine. The Chinese call the spine the highway of life. That's because that spine passes the circulation to every part of the body as it flows through and branches off. One more time, lifting that rib cage, pulling the shoulders down, lengthening the spine, hinging forward, not rounding. Pulling back by tipping the pelvis, rounding the spine, tucking the chin, and coming up tall. Open the chest, pull the shoulders down, lift through the rib cage. All right, now we're going to take our knees on a diagonal to the right. Knees are tight together. Feet, ankles tight together. You want to try to keep them together and not let those knees separate. I'm going to start by holding the end of the foam roller down at my thighs. I am going to twist my body to the left, lifting through the rib cage, opening the chest, pulling the shoulders down, looking to the left. Now, as I come back to center, I'm resting that object on my thighs, and I round my back again, pulling that chin in. Now back up nice and tall, we lift the prop. We turn the torso to the left, looking to the left. Knees are still tight together. Feet and ankles are together. Rest that prop on the thighs, round the back, pull the chin to the chest. Lift through that rib cage, lift that object, turn to the left, knees squeezing tightly together to the right. Come back to center. Lay the object down, rounding the spine, chin to the chest. Back up again, opening the chest, lifting your prop, turning to the left, looking to the left. Knees are together to the right. I come back to center. I lay my foam roller down. I round that back. And I come up nice and tall, pulling those shoulders down before I start to turn. And back to the center. Lay the object on the thighs, rounding the back, tucking the chin, and coming up. Now we need to work the other side. So this is strengthening our obliques, or what makes up the waistline. Keep those knees tight together. If you have a problem holding the knees together, you keep relaxing the legs. What you want to do is roll up a towel, put it between the knees, and you'll keep your knees together or the towel will fall. If you have a small plastic ball, you could use that, a tennis ball. That will remind you to keep the knees together. So now my knees are to the left, and I'm going to turn the torso to the right, pushing those shoulders down. I turn to my right, I look to the right, pause for a moment, engaging those obliques, come back around. My foam roller goes to the thighs. I round the spine, tuck the chin into the chest, and now back up again, pulling the shoulders down, lifting through the rib cage, turning to my right, looking to the right. Knees are still tight together to the left. I come back around, set the foam roller down, rounding the spine, chin to the chest. And now back up, pull those shoulders down, lift that rib cage, rotate that torso and head to the right. Back around again. Place that foam roller on the thighs, rounding that spine, tuck that chin, tip that pelvis, squeeze those abs. Lift through the rib cage and pull the shoulders down as we come up. Rotating to the right. Make sure you're breathing the entire time. Don't hold your breath. Back around. Foam roller goes to the thighs. I roll through that spine, tucking the chin. And now I come up nice and tall. Knees are tight together. And rotate to the right. Back around. Lying your prop down on those thighs, rounding the spine, tucking the chin. One more time, push those shoulders down, lift through the rib cage as you lift that prop. Rotate to the right, pause there, letting those muscles engage. Come back around, lay that foam roller or prop down, round the spine, chin to the chest. And we come up, shoulders down, chest open, lift through the rib cage. All right, I'm gonna lay my foam roller, which is a great thing to use because it doesn't have much added weight at all. But like I said, you could use a broomstick. You're just gonna bring your hands in a little bit closer. All right, now we're gonna stand up and we're gonna use the back of the chair. So I'm gonna turn this around. Now I'm going to step back from it so I'm in the frame and you can see me. Hands on the back of that chair. And now if you notice my legs are straight, I don't want you to slam them to straightness. If this is your range of motion, don't pop those legs back. Do what you can do so you're feeling a stretch. Push those shoulders down and now bring that chest down as low as you can. You are really feeling that stretch in the hamstrings. Now, why is that helping my back? Because if hamstrings are tight, they're shortened, that pulls on the hips and it pulls on the back. Now, as you come up, push that chest in toward the chair. Now you feel that stretch in the Achilles and in the calves, which are very, very important to mobility and quality of life. Now push it back again. We're feeling it in those hamstrings. If you can only get to here with knees bent, that's perfect. As you do this though, your progression and your goal is to be able to straighten those legs and drop that chest, head, and neck below the level of the arms. Now you're feeling those tight hamstrings, but we're relaxing them and lengthening them. Now as we straighten that body, we're pushing the chest towards the back of the chair, and you're feeling that stretch in those calves and that Achilles. And push back again. You go where you need to go to. So important for quality of life with the back to keep the hamstrings flexible. People think it's all about the back. But just like that old song, the hip bone's connected to the knee bone, everything in the body is connected. We have to work it all. Now push it back again. Drop that chest, head, and neck down. Straighten the legs as much as your flexibility will allow. Come back up. Pushing that chest towards the back of the chair. This is a great upper body strengthener and core strengthener. So we're kind of doing a standing plank here. Push it back one more time. Do your best one yet, lengthening those hamstrings, dropping that chest down. One more time in towards the chair. Push that pelvis forward, stretching those calves, trying to keep the heels down. You might only be able to get to here, and that might be enough of a stretch on your calves. That's fine. As I always say, you do you, baby. All right, we're going to shake that out a little bit. Now what we're going to do is a yoga move, but I'm not having you get down on the floor. You're going to flip that chair around, holding on to the seat of the chair. Now there's a pose that we do in yoga that's called cat and cow. We're going to do this modified from a standing position. You need to have your feet as far apart as your hips. So we don't want them wider, but we don't want them in narrow. Feet placed straight down from the hips. Now, I'm gonna bend my knees, round my back, chin to the chest, curling that spine. Now, I'm going to straighten the legs, pushing back through the hamstrings, and lift my chin up. So right now I have a swayed back. Now we're gonna pull it in by bending the knees, tipping the pelvis, squeezing the abs, and pulling that chin in. Now we go to what is called cow in yoga, but of course this is modified. I've got my chin up, I have that sway in my back, I'm pushing through my tailbones. Bone, only one back there. Now I'm going to round that spine, chin to the chest, bend the knees, really pushing that spine toward the ceiling. This is cat. And now back to cow. And like I said, you do you, baby. Wherever your flexibility is where you go. You don't have to worry that you can't straighten the legs. When we round, if you can only get to here, that's fine. But if you can curl that back all the way around with chin to chest, that's what you need to do. That is your goal to be able to get to. Last time with cow. Feeling that stretch. Feels pretty good. It gets circulation flowing. Now, if you can't do it like I'm doing it, that is perfectly fine. You've got to do it to where your limitations or your flexibility, your range of motion is. Do what you can do, but be consistent to repeat these. I promise you, you'll see change. If you can't bend all the way down to hold the seat of the chair, leave it in the other position and put your hands on the back of the chair. Or use your kitchen counter. Place your hands there. Do the cat-cow stretch, holding onto the kitchen counter because it is at a higher stage. All right, here is a table. I do not want you to climb up on a table. This is pretty sturdy. I made sure that it was safe for me to get on here. These are stretches and exercises you can do in the comfort of your bed. You don't have to get down on the floor. What it does for you to do these stretches before you get out of bed in the morning, or these exercises, is it stimulates circulation. It's getting the body ready for your day and ready to move. Over time, you won't be near as stiff when you get out of bed in the morning. Now, when you go to bed at night, what this is going to do for you, it's going to help your muscles and your body to relax so you can sleep more soundly or get to sleep quicker. All right, what we're going to do, I'm going to climb up here. You're going to watch what I'm doing so you can practice this in your bed, or you can take your phone, whatever it is you're viewing this on, to your bedroom. If you're turning it on your TV, your iPad, take it into the bedroom with you. Now, I'm going to climb up here. And the first thing that we're going to do to stretch our body out and relax a little bit is knees are bent, feet are flat. Relax that upper body. Just let your hands rest to your side. And we are going to drop the knees to the left side. Now, if this is all the farther you can get, that is fine. You stop there. You begin breathing deep inhalations and exhalations in order to get the muscles to relax. Over time, your goal is to get the knees all the way down to the bed, knees tight together. Now, don't tense up your arms in this position. Let them rest here. We're allowing these muscles to elongate. This is getting into the hip flexor as well as stretching out the back and the core. Couple of deep breaths. You never want to hold your breath when you're stretching or exercising. Now, we're going to take the knees up to that neutral position, realign the tushy before we go to the other side. Now we drop them to the other side. Remember, if you can't get those knees together all the way down to the mattress, then you stop them where you can go. If you have to separate the knees to get the knees down, you don't want to do that. You want to stop at the angle that you can still keep the knees tightly together. Relax the upper body, and breathe. You're feeling that stretch through the hip, through the low back, through the abdomen. Relax those arms. Now you can repeat that as many times as you feel it's comfortable. If you only do it one time, make sure you hold it long enough for the muscles to get the signal to relax. And I will tell you, that takes about 20 seconds. So don't just hold it for 3 or 4 seconds. Now, the next thing we're going to do are pelvic tilt rolls. So I'm gonna move my hands so you can see what my pelvis is doing. Knees are bent, feet are flat. Watch right through my pelvis. I am going to tip and roll. So my buns are slightly lifted. My back is still lying on that mattress. And now I release it. So I let that curvature, that low lumbar curve, the arch in my back come up. And now I tip again. Tipping and rolling that pelvis. My feet are pressing into the mattress. My arms are relaxed. Make sure all of the tension is going from your belly button to your feet and nothing above that belly button is getting tense. Now we release it. So you let that pelvis drop back down and that low lumbar curve come up and you release. Now, tip and roll that pelvis. There's a squeeze to the buns. Squeeze those glutes. And release. It's just a couple seconds that we hold it. And squeeze and tip. Now ladies, what this does for the internal areas of the body from the belly button down is it strengthens the muscles on the inside to give support to the bladder and all the organs in there so we can laugh freely, sneeze freely, run freely without worries. All right, release that. Let's do that one more time. Roll, tip that pelvis, squeeze the abdominal muscles, squeeze the buns, relax the upper body, and release it. All right, now we're gonna pull one knee into the chest. I'm lacing my fingers over the shin, then I'm dropping my shoulders back to the mattress. Now while you're holding this position, do a few ankle circles. Remember to do them slowly. This will help with cramps you may get in your feet or your legs during the night, but you want to do them slowly. Anytime we do a quick movement, it shortens the length of the muscle. Reverse that circle. We're trying to lengthen the muscles in the ankle, in the shin, in the calf. Now, while we've been doing that, we've been stretching from the glute all the way down the hamstring, or the butt down the back of the leg. Now, before we let go of this leg, I want you to extend it up. Now, our goal is to get that leg straight, but if your leg only goes to here, that's fine. If you can't straighten it all on your own, you take a belt, you take a bath towel in order to straighten that leg. You wrap it behind and you pull on it. All right, foot back down to that mattress. Other knee comes into the chest. You lace the fingers over the shin. Then you relax those shoulders back down. Now, ankle circles. Make them big as your ankle mobility will allow, and keep them slow. Now, if you're having a hard time even getting the knee to the chest, that's where that belt or bath towel comes in. You place it behind the leg and pull it to where you can get it to. You might only be able to get it here. That's fine. Pull resistance on that belt or bath towel and continue those ankle circles. Take them in reverse. Shoulders down to that mattress. All right, now we're gonna straighten that leg. And again, remember, if you can't get that knee straight, that's fine. You do you, baby. Towel or belt, you just slide behind there and you help by pulling on it to hold that leg up. You straighten it to wherever you can straighten it. With consistency, you're gonna get more range of motion. Let's bring that foot down. Let's adjust the body, just roll those shoulder blades under, relax those arms. Now this next one, you might need an assist with that belt or that bath towel by wrapping it around the ankle and pulling it in. What we're gonna do is take the ankle across the opposite knee. If you can't do that, you're putting that bath towel or that belt on there and you're just taking it up where you can. But what we're trying to release here is the piriformis, or where we get sciatic pain, issues that can run anywhere from the middle of the butt cheek all the way down the outer thigh, past the knee, down into the outside of the ankle. It can be pain in any of those areas, doesn't have to be all of them. It doesn't always have to be located right in the center of the gluteus muscle. Now, once you're in this position, push that knee open. If you'd like to use your hands, push on the thigh, not on the knee. To open that, we want to hold that for at least 20 seconds. We are opening the hip flexor. We're getting more range of motion in the hips, which are the center of the body and help us to maintain balance. We have to stay flexible. That's what inhibits our balance as we mature. All right, we're gonna let go of that one. Other ankle up, and it's very common if you have a knee issue. This one could be difficult for you. Might be easier on one leg than the other, but remember, you can strap that belt around that ankle and just pull the leg up wherever you can get it to with that knee angling out to open up that hip. That's what we're going for here. No matter what your range of motion is, you can do this. It might be strapping that belt around that ankle and just tipping that knee out a little bit, but we're opening the hips for quality of life. All right, now speaking of opening the hips, now we're gonna do a butterfly position. Shoulder blades rolled under, arms relaxed, soles of feet together, knees are out in that diamond shape, or they call this butterfly. You're gonna allow the knees just to drop. Now, your range of motion might not be here. Your range of motion may be better than mine. But if you can only get the knees to here, that is what you do. Feet together. If you say, well, I can't even get my feet together, again, that's where that bath towel or belt comes in handy. You wrap it around both ankles, pull them, hold them by pulling on the belt or the bath towel to keep them together. As you take deep breaths in and out, the knees will begin to relax and you can drop them open. Now, you might not get them out this far day one, but I guarantee you within 3 weeks of doing these consistently, you'll see change. And the other change you're gonna see besides flexibility lying here is when you walk. You'll have more freedom of movement and lower your risk of falling. All right, I have one more for you to do. And we are going to slide to the edge of our bed. We're gonna keep that back leg bent. The leg to the edge of the bed, you're going to drop down. Now, when I drop that down, I feel a big stretch in the hip flexor. Well, if my hip flexors are tight, I guarantee you my low back is tight. So getting these hips loosened up with the last few stretches that we've been doing is crucial to good back health. So as you let this leg drop down and keep the other knee bent on the bed, you should feel a stretch through that quadricep and hip flexor. Now, if your leg cannot get this flat, you find you're right here, you really have tight hip flexors and quads. So it's definitely one you need to work on. But you want to let that hang there, other leg up. Then we bring that knee up, and you can either spin around or you can slide to the other side of the bed, dropping that outside leg down to stretch the hip flexor and the quadricep on that side. Other knee stays bent, upper body stays relaxed. A minimum of 20 seconds, and remembering to breathe. Great. All right, bring that knee up. Now, we're gonna drop our knees to the side because we're gonna roll over on the belly. And I don't ever want you to flip quickly. I want you to kind of do a log roll to flip around on your belly. So we're going to lay like this. Now, if this bothers you, not having something under your head, by all means, place your pillow there. Put your arms on the pillow if you want. But what I would like you to do here is try to use your lower back strength to lift the upper body slightly. And release. And lift. And release. And lift. And release. And lift. This one we're going to hold a little longer because now we're going to slide our hands under our shoulders, elbows to the side, and we're going to push up. And take it down. And press into those hands, getting that arch recreated in that low lumbar curve that we've probably lost by the time we reach age 40 or 45 from poor posture. So we are recreating the muscle memory to tell those low back muscles what their job is. And that's to hold in those discs, to hold in and support the vertebrae to protect our back. Lower, and let's do this one more time. And release. All right, I'm going to slide up here. Now, I hope that you will try these out. You might think, oh, that I can't do that. Well, first of all, you can. You might have to pick and choose what I've put out there for you, but eventually you'll be able to do all of them. But not if you don't do them, and you don't do them consistently. These are easy exercises for back health. These are easy stretches for back health. Now, one of the things that people seem to want to do when their back is tight is they want to bend forward and reach towards their toes. Well, in one respect, that's good for back health because you're lengthening the muscles of the hamstrings. Hamstrings are tight and short, pulls on the hips, pulls on the back. I already told you that. But the best thing you can do for your back, if you think about the anatomy of the body, is to take the back in the opposite direction. So from this seated position, what you want to do is recreate that low lumbar curve that we lose by the time we're 40, 45, some of us push it to 50 from bad posture. When we sit all day long, we do this. When we're driving in our car, we do this. When we're standing, we do this, and usually with one hip kicked out. So what we want to do is recreate the muscle memory to retrain these muscles what they're supposed to be doing. So seated in your chair, you put your hands on your thighs, you do a little arch, and you release. You do a little arch, even chin looks up. Don't do this quickly because you will get lightheaded. And you release. You do a little arch, and you release. We do a little arch, and release. Arch back by tipping that pelvis forward, chin up, shoulders down, chest open, and release. Now notice when I release, I am not doing that rounded back like we did in a lot of the exercises. This is just arching and straightening. So one more time, shoulders down, chest open, knees are straight out from those hips, ankles straight down, toes forward, arms relaxed. We arch back. And when we release, we come to a good posture, which means chest open, shoulders down, long neck. All right. I do have to tell you, years ago I had back issues, and that last exercise I taught you was what was given to me to try. And I have been to many different areas to try to get help, many different venues, and I was not receiving the help that I needed. It wasn't fixing my problem. Those little arches I did, and you're supposed to do 10 repetitions and if you can fit it into your day, do it 10 times during your day. I did it maybe 3 times a day. I did it standing because I was always on my feet, and you can do it standing. It's just if you get lightheaded or a little bit unstable, this is safer. But I did that, and after a month, I couldn't believe, I didn't even realize I had 0 back pain. Now, I'm not saying that's going to fix everybody. Maybe one of these other stretches or exercises is going to help you, but try it. It's worth your time for quality of life. We want you pain-free. We want you to be able to move and enjoy every day to the fullest. Thank you so much for joining me again. My name is Debbie Barney. I am the Fitness and Wellness Coordinator with Memorial Health System. This is our Move series. Today was all about how to have a healthy back. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.